Good morning, children. We have a Clarey test request for 3 Woodrow Wilson, Tucker Carlson, and a former San Francisco supervisor, Dan White. Let's start with Dan White. Former supervisor Dan White kills himself. This is from 1985. Oh, kills himself 1985. Special October 2010. So 1985. Let's scroll through this. Dan White, friend, 2 men's lives intertwined in a tragic play. We're together again for a final act. Or chums. Police killed themselves. All right, let's just go with good old-fashioned Google and Wikipedia. Dan White, San Francisco. Here we go. Was an American politician who assassinated San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk. Holy cow. On Monday, November 27th, 1978 at City Hall in a controversial verdict that led to the coining of the legal slang Twinkie defense. White was convicted of manslaughter rather than murder in the deaths of Milk and Moscone. White served 5 years of a 7-year prison sentence less than 2 years after his release. He returned to San Francisco where he ultimately committed suicide. Man, San Francisco was a shithole back then too. All right, early life. This is a crazy character. Born Long Beach, California, second of 9 children, raised by Irish-American, quadriplegic, Welsh, Scottish, German-American ancestry, because we here at Wikipedia just can't get enough of the racial dick. Working class parents in Vistacon Valley neighborhood of San Francisco. He was expelled for violence his junior year. He went to Woodrow Wilson High School. Valedictorian of his class. Interesting. So he did come from well, so that's good. Enlisted the United States Army in 65. Sergeant 101st Airborne Division in Vietnam from 69 to 70. Honorably discharged at 71. All right, so he's got real working experience. Worked as a security guard in Anchorage, Alaska. Returned to San Francisco to work as a cop. Allegedly quit the force after reporting another officer for beating a handcuffed suspect. Joined the San Francisco Fire Department. Rescue of a woman and her baby from 7th floor apartment was covered in San Francisco city's new All-American boy. In 1977, White was elected as a Democrat. How? How are you a Democrat? Board of Supervisors. At large, strong support from police and firefighters. New York Times is largely a white middle-class section that is hostile to the growing homosexual community. Well, that's the New York Times. They're liars now and liars back then. I just got curious why the assassin, despite their personal differences, White and Supervisor Harvey Milk had several areas of political agreement and initially worked well together. Milk was one of 3 people. After disagreement over a proposed drug rehabilitation center in the Mission District, White frequently clashed with Milk as well as other members of the board. On November, resigned. Dissatisfaction saw corrupt inner workings in San Francisco city politics, as well as difficulty in making a living without a police officer or firefighter's salary jobs he could not retain legally while serving as supervisor. Opened a baked potato stand, failed to become profitable, reversed his resignation. Okay, so they accepted his request to go back, but then later refused. They reneged on it. Later declared intention of killing Arnold Milk, but also other San Francisco politicians, Willie Brown. Went into Super Hall and just shot him. Okay. Twinkie defense. What is the Twinkie defense? At the trial, White's defense team argued that his mental state at the time of killings was one of diminished capacity due to depression. They argued, therefore, he was not capable of premeditated killings and thus was not legally guilty of first-degree murder. Forensic psychiatrist, oh, there we go. Martin Blinder testified that White was suffering from depression. Well, shit, I guess I could go murder a bunch of people right now. Oh, yeah, he was depressed. Just look at his videos. He's very angry. See? So he should just be let go after 2 years. Served, fearing White might be murdered in retaliation for his crimes. Transported him to Los Angeles. White committed suicide. Okay. Well, let's do the test. He didn't major in stupid shit. Didn't come from wealth. Had real world working experience. Was not a career politician as of yet. I guess he gets a perfect score, but I'm sorry if you're murdering people. No, I don't want to have a beer with you. And no, you shouldn't be running for public office. So that let's do Woodrow Wilson. I don't know much about Woodrow Wilson. This would be interesting. I'm going to assume he came from wealth. I'm just picturing an FDR blue blood elitist. All right, he was a president, brought the income tax. Democrats twiddled their twats because they were just so excited. Born Staunton, Virginia, he was third of 4 children, first son of Joseph Ruggies Wilson and Jessie Janet Woodrow, growing up in a home where slave labor was utilized. Wilson's paternal grandparents immigrated. Grandfather, pro-tariff, anti-slavery newspaper. First son of Joseph Ruggles. Well, who is Joseph Ruggles? Prominent Presbyterian theologian, father, editor, pastor of church. 37 years. Guess he didn't come from wealth. I don't think his dad was. Oh, he went to theology. So Woodrow Wilson was a preacher's kid, not that. I'm going to say no, he didn't come from wealth. Woodrow Wilson did not come from wealth. Steubenville. I've been to Steubenville. I believe Dean Martin was born there. Joseph. Full identified with Southerners. They were in the Confederacy. Nearby school. I guess he was old enough to remember the Civil War. With reading. Oh, wait, his father was a theology professor? Member of... Okay, A degree. He just studied political philosophy and history. I know, guys, that A degree back then was a good degree, but boy, political philosophy and history, go fuck yourself. Enjoyed Flat Cap Slay, brother. Active Whig Literary Debating Society organized the Liberal Days, elected Secretary of Football Association, declared his support for Democratic Party nominee Samuel Tyden. Booty Boo, essay on governmental reform. After graduating from Princeton, Zay Charles. Law, which is not that uncommon back then. Set up a practice. Brief attempt setting up practice in Atlanta, 1882. Legalist, he abhorred day-to-day. In 1883, he met and fell in love. I want to know when he started his political career. Oh, he was a professor. Right, 1883, after he graduated, become a professor. So far, no real work. I'm going to hold him up to that standard. 1885. Accepted teaching, no real world working experience in 1885. 1890, Wilson elected Princeton Board of Trustees, an academic, author. Not a real job. Hate to say. I mean, yeah, it's real work, but that's not a real job. He wrote for Political Science Quarterly. Oh, my dick. Oh, my God. I'm so intelligent. Second book, President of Princeton, 1902. Oh, this guy's just an academic fuck. Governor, 1911, and then presidential election. Was he elected in 1912? Yeah, because the income tax was 1913, if I recall correctly. Yep, 1913. Then he die in office, or he had a stroke, and was it Eleanor? Whatever his wife's name was. Yeah, he died in office. No, he didn't die in office. When did he die? 1924. Okay. So he died at 68, if I do my math right. No real world working experience. He did not come from wealth. I'm going to give him half a point for fuck dipshittery studies. I don't care how old he was. That's bullshit political philosophy and history. This guy never had any intention to work. There's no doubt about that. So point and a half there. No real world working experience with career politician. Way to just work to tell you. So 2.5. Would I want to have a beer with him? Absolutely not. I do not. Look, if you are a blue-collar Democrat who works, maybe you're not the most genius guy ever, but you work on the assembly line or you deliver Uber Eats, whatever, I'll have an honest conversation. I'd rather talk to you. But when you're not intelligent, but you fake being intelligent through academia because you're a lazy fuck, and you're just like, oh my goodness, I wrote a book of political philosophy. Oh, go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. No. You are boring and you're a hypocrite, and there's nothing intelligent you have to say. Nothing at all. Which most of you should know by now. If you've taken any classes under liberal arts professors, you should know this by now. That professor means fuck all shit. Should he have ran for office? Not really, no. He had no right running for office. He never worked a day in his life. And he's an academic. Fuck him. All right, let's do Tucker Carlson. San Francisco. Born 69, so he's got 6 years on me. Right, for the magazine in the 90s Weekly Standard, commentator CNN, co-host of Prime Time. Oh, that's right, Crossfire. Okay, that was his claim to fame. So he does have real work experience. I know it's maybe a lot of you wouldn't consider television real work, but it kind of is. He's got to put together his show and everything. Born near San Francisco, son of Richard Warner Carlson, a former Gonzo reporter who became the director of The Voice of America, president of Corporation for Public Broadcasting, U.S. ambassador to Chili's. Okay, he came from wealth. Carlson's paternal grandparents placed his father in an orphanage when he was adopted when he was 2 years old by the Carlsons. Richard Carlson's adopted. I hate it when they go to... It's a Wikipedia entry for person X, but then they go paragraphs into person X parents, but use the same last name. So like, who the fuck are you talking about? Carlson's parents divorced after a 9-year reportedly turned sour. Carlson's father was granted custody of him and his brother. He's still going to, with a footnote, Carlson came from a dysfunctional family, which is hard, but his dad was pretty well-to-do. Carlson's mother left the family when he was 6, wanting to pursue a bohemian lifestyle. She eventually split her time between Beaufort County in South Carolina and Kazakh, France, where she had little contact with the Carlson family. Later married artist Michael Vaughn. Dick Carlson said, be active 5. I want them to be self-disciplined to the degree that I think is necessary to find satisfaction. You measure a person on how far they go, how far they've sprung. My parents, the Carlsons, is da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I wonder how, what's the name? I wonder how his mother's doing now. Did she find her way? 79, Carlson's father married divorcee Patricia Caroline Swanson, an heiress to the Swanson Enterprises. Of course. Where do I get that money? We're not just going to marry rich. And they're related to senators. Third marriage for Swanson, legally adopted Carlson and his brother. Carlson was in first grade. Father moved him to La Jolla, California. That's a fancy part of San Diego. Yeah, he came from wealth. Father owned property in Nevada, Vermont, islands in Maine, and Nova Scotia. Secondary education, St. George School, boarding school, middle, Trinity College, Hartford, where he graduated in 1990, BA in history. No! Came from wealth, worthless degree. Carlson tried to join the Central Intelligence Agency without first going through the military. I added that part. Application was denied. Career in journalism at the encouragement of his father. Well, his father was in journalism. All right. Come on. Journalism career, fact checker, policy review, National Conservative Journal, and Heritage Foundation. So he has real world working experience, worked at CNN, MSNBC, Fox News to President, Tucker Carlson Tonight, Daily Caller. Was he in Dancing with the Stars? Okay. Came from wealth, point against him. Majored in lazy ass stupid shit, point against him. I would even say his career in journalism would be lazy. I would not award him a point, but he ended up having to bust his ass off. I don't know if he fell into that or what. But he it's like President Obama. Like, Obama never had a real job until he became fucking president of the United States, and that's a real fucking job. That's 80 hours a week, probably more. And it's like, oh shit, be careful what you wish for, Democrats. You might get a real job. Oh, what? It's not going to nonprofit celebrations and black tie events, drinking wine, voting on take other people's money away to give to charity causes so I can twiddle my twat and feel good about myself. I have to work. Meetings, what are those? I want to be a Kennedy just sipping wine at art fairs. So he's been working ever since. So he's got 2 points. Would I want to have a beer with him? Sure. I don't watch the show. I don't watch politics anymore. He's got hustle. There's no doubt about that. Maybe on those grounds that, for the past, 15 years, 20 years, he's like, oh shit, real job. What's going on? So he had, a baptism by fire. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you want to have a beer with him? Should he run for office? Not my ideal candidate, but certainly better than others. He's certainly more qualified to run than others. God almighty, you compare him to George Bush Jr. or Sr., the nepotist wonder over in the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson. I mean, yeah, he's more, given what your average Republican is throwing up. I mean, the Republicans and Democrats are like having a competition as to how many nepotistic trust fund babies they can run. So I guess he'd be better than that. So yeah, he can run for office. Why not? I just wouldn't be enthusiastically cheering him on. So there we go. Holy shit, what's with all the super chats? All right, let's get through this because I got a lot of asshole consulting to do. Then I got to go to Moab and hike. Hey, Governor Walz, there you go right there, fucker. Oh, shut down Minnesota, huh? Oh, okay. Hey, there's other states. Oh, my God, and there's planes. Look at that. How is it in Minnesota, guys, huh? Having fun? Oh, is everything shutting down? Well, that's too bad. You voted for a Democrat. Nothing better than liberal Democrat business owners in the Twin Cities. Hey, wait a second. Kevin McComber, our resident socialist for $1.99. Is mass immigration good for the economy? It depends. Really depends. Like if you've got a labor shortage, yeah. But is it permanent? Is it temporary? Is it a work visa? It all depends on it. During the Great Recession, no. During the Great Depression, no. We got no jobs. It really depends on the environment, the quality of the immigration. Before just like, hey, everybody come on in. It's like, you better have this degree or that. You better be a doctor. Well, you're not just going to take everybody in. All depends, man. All depends. Like Dubai is an interesting example where Dubai, they have nothing but the Dubaians, whatever, the Dubaiites, they don't do the real work. They bring in a bunch of East Indian labor to do the construction and everything. And that's good for their economy. But if there wasn't a boom, if they didn't eliminate taxes, create a capitalist economy, it'd just be like, hey, here's a peninsula piece of shit desert that juts out into the Red Sea. The Red Sea. I have to look up my maps. So yeah, it depends. Django Geek, $2. His family owns slaves. How is that not wealthy? I don't. What is okay? True. You got a point. You got a point there. Parts of the Middle East, Qatar, and Dubai look nice. Yeah, interesting. You bring that up, Kevin. Yeah, they are very nice because of capitalism. You look up that. You look up Qatar and Dubai. See what's happening there. And then DJ Aftershock for $5. Dude, Aaron, we just closed the deal, man, on that sports bar near Edina, man. We wouldn't do it without the Carlson School of Management. We selling wings, man. Yeah, the Carl. Oh God, I gotta look at enrollment figures for this upcoming fall for because here's what's great about not just the Carlson School of Management, but all business schools. They are so. By the way, to our East Indian brothers and sisters who think about coming to the United States for business school, they are fucking you over. Unless it's Harvard, they are fucking you over. Oh, Harvard, Chicago, Wharton. And now with COVID slamming the brakes on immigration, and like students coming in, immigrating, or student visas. Oh, I don't know what these business schools are going to do without that fucking blood money from the Indians. I have no idea how they're going to make it without sucker punching those unfortunate people coming over from India. But yeah, dude, bro, you can run a business. There's so many of these restaurants closing in the Twin Cities. It's sad because some of them are good. They just didn't have 3 months cash. What? At least there was one professor I won't mention because he doesn't deserve to be associated with me. But there are 3 good professors, and one of which talked about having enough money, having enough cash on hand that in case something bad happens. But dude, bro, that money could be invested in the market. All right, more stuff coming. Oh, by the way, everybody, a bunch of you sent me an email. I sent you a response back. Check your fucking spam folders. We'll see you later. Toodles.